Good evening and welcome. It is. Oh, the camera is frozen. Ready? That is unfortunate. It's okay though. I can fix it. Maybe. Activate. Hello? Camera? Okay, well that's interesting. Just fine a second ago. I was there. Everything was working just fine. Now it's not. The Gato camera, hello? Please work, please function. Okay, well, that's interesting. Why are you not working? Well, I guess I can just talk to you in the meantime. It's been a while since I've spoken to you. Thank you for joining me. Welcome. Hello. You can't see me, and that's weird, but it's okay. Hi. Welcome to the stream. It is the final day of the 2022 online Bassmaster Classic and the final day of the actual real world Bassmaster Classic. And excitingly, it seems like our actual angler who is playable in-game, Stetson Blaylock, is doing a very good job. Looks like he's currently on course to top out this day, which is very exciting. We are wishing him all the best, and I'm trying to get my camera to work, but it's not. Blatin Gomez, hello, Devin, welcome. Can I just say, Devin, if that's you, you had an incredible round two, an unbelievable scenes. I don't know why this camera is not just wanting to work. Yeah, man down, like big time. Like, what is happening? Everything was honestly working as intended prior to me going live, and then here I am. Connect your Elgato camera. It's connected. Trust me. I'll disconnect it and reconnect it and hope for the best. Right, let's try again. Elgato camera, please. Hey Daz, how you doing? I don't know why my camera is not working. Before I started streaming, I was testing this and everything was working just fine. Whereas right now, it's not doing the business. I mean, come on. It's connected to the hub it wants to be. Devin, don't worry about it. I mean, that is an incredible score. Well deserved. Okay, let's just try this for then. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, I can't get the webcam to work. Very strange. I'm going to move over here for a sec. I want to talk to you about the leaderboards. So this is the round 2 leaderboard here. So this is as of this morning, so prior to round 3 kicking off, this was the leaderboard as it was. So Swifty still comfortably in the lead with 149 pounds and 6 ounces. With Smear Medal with 147 and Batting Dreams chilling in third. Now, things have changed since round 3 has kicked off. Now, things have changed, sure, but here's the thing, right? Swifty is holding off from having his third attempt. He hasn't put a score in for round 3 yet because he's waiting. he's chilling in the background, just waiting for round 3 to like have its, you know, have its moment for him to then put his score in and see where it goes. But fair play to everyone, and I want to put a big shout out as well. I know he's already kind of made himself clear here, but Splitting Domez down here, right? His first round score, you know, pretty good, like really good, 66 pounds and 3 ounces, and then he comes in with his round 2 score, 79 pounds, 79, which we thought was the biggest score we'd seen so far. And I honestly thought it was. Alas, he has been beaten by our very own Scooby Hayes, and I'll show you in a moment. If only I could get my flipping webcam to actually function as it should. Even I have several webcams. None of them are working, it seems. So I'm not sure what the solution is outside of not streaming, like outside of streaming without a webcam. Basically, I don't know what else to do. It's just not working. So if you guys are okay with not seeing me, then I can just turn off this live section here, and you can imagine me being here, but I'm just not. I am, but you can't see me. If that makes any sense. Yes, big shout out to our current top 3 from the first 2 rounds. Very big scores, and it's actually really close. Like, there's not like a huge amount in it. Like, anyone could have this. They are tight scores, and the fact that Scooby Hayes has come in with a big round 3 score, and it's put him at the top of the leaderboard, is just enough to show you that, you know, a good round 3 score can make a big difference. All right, so I might have to accept defeat on the webcam front. I'm not quite sure what else to do. I've unplugged it. I plugged it back in again, and it is not having it. I'm going to try one more time. Yeah, it's just trying to, like, it's trying to load, but it's just not loading. I don't know what to do with it. All right. Anyway, let's carry on as if everything was just normal. So let's take a look at where we're at right now in terms of the current leaderboard. So, as you can see, things have changed. The top 4 does not currently have Swifty in there. Now, this is probably likely to the fact that Swifty is yet to submit a score of any kind. Swifty he's taken a back seat. He's going to wait till this stream is done, and then he's going to put his score in. He's going to have a go. He's probably going to live stream it. So, you know, if you're looking for some last minute tips and you haven't seen what Swifty's been up to, and you're thinking, you know, how am I going to better what I've done previously? You're probably going to want to watch Swifty, because thankfully he's streaming after I'm streaming, which is good, because, you know, I'm not probably the person to watch here, but that's okay. But look at this. Scooby Hayes 420 is our current leader with an enormous round 3 score of 79 pounds and 7 ounces. Which, as I believe, is 7 ounces more than our current highest score that we've seen so far, which is incredible work. I don't know if Scooby's here. He might be, but hello, Des. Welcome. My camera's not working. I don't know what to do. See? Just this blue dot. And I can't get any of my cameras to work. I don't know why. I've tried everything. But hey, here we are. It's fine. They were fine a minute ago, and now they are broken. And it is what it is. So there's no camera today. I really tried. But it's fine. Anyway, okay, we're loading in. So Scooby currently in the lead. So I'm like, I don't know, 200th Something like that. It's not a great score. I'll be honest with you. Like I did okay. My second round score was pretty good. My first round score, very bad. So we're gonna try and it's basically a recovery mission. So I think our first round score was maybe like 20 something pounds. Like it's a shambles, really. 20 pounds ish. And our round 2 score was in the 69, 68, somewhere around there. So pretty respectable, not too bad at all. And so today we want to try and do something good. We want to get a good score in the bag. So hopefully we don't come, I want to make sure we're representing Dovetail Games by not doing a terrible job. I don't want to be terrible. Thank you, Big Timer. Bassing Dreams, you've done a great job. Consistent is what I like to see. Right, let's try and find a good spot here. No, it's around here somewhere. I've overshot it. Oh, have you seen that I'm wearing my, I'm just going to stand up for a second here. It doesn't really matter that much. It's only me. If you took part in the first round of this event, you'll have seen that you have unlocked some very fetching cowboy boots. And if you took part in round 2, you'll have seen that you have unlocked this very fetching Lake Hartwell shirt with the dates on March 4th to 6th, 2022, which you can only get by taking part in the event. I think it's like a very cool item of clothing, and even more the cooler for the fact that you can only access it by taking part in the event. Limited edition, you might say. A brick cowboy, that's me. Oh, there we go. The trick here is you want to try and find these plants coming out here, right? And there's some there's a tree over there that has some leaves falling off it. This is what you're looking for. If you're looking for a good spot, round 3 tips coming in. I'm just going to change my setup here. I'm going for my 5th loadout. And my 5th loadout is the tremor shad with a 50-pound braided line with a 1/4 ounce jig head. That's what I'm going with. Now, let's cast out, see what we've got going on here. It feels very weird that I'm not on camera. I feel very strange about it. And I'm absolutely compensating for the fact that you can't see me by over-speaking. So, forgive me. Yeah, I've seen this, Daz. There are some players who, for some reason, have not had access to the clothing items, which I do not understand. And I will be passing on to the likes of Des, who I believe is listening. It's very strange, though, that you are on, like Daz particularly, you're on Steam, right? And I'm also on Steam. And I got mine. I'm not using a particularly special build. I'm just using the same version of the game that everyone plays on. This is interesting. There are no fish here. So, and I got mine, and I'm not using like a dev build. I'm using the same version. I'd go to the island. Really? Are you saying that the island is the new spot? My spot? You got the boots, so that's very strange. Devon, yes. So we do have plans for several tournaments to take to take place after this one. This is the first of what we hope to be many events like this. What we're not going to do though is we're not going to have the Dovetail Fishing League as many people know it, where it's a constant evolving cycle of this constant week on week various competitions to take part in. It's going to be more selective and limited, and hopefully the goal there will be that, you know, there'll be some event around it. You know, it'll be fun to take part because it's a limited time event. But there will be several events that you'll be able to take part in over the course of this year, and I'm sure that we will have some news for you on exactly what that will be in not too long. There are no fish here. Like, what do I do? I mean, I can go to the island. I'm aware that was a very long-winded answer, which essentially could have been answered with just a yes. All right, well, strange. Okay, we're going to come back. We're going to come back. But for now, let's head to the island. We know we've had success here in the past. It's a bit more difficult. Like, they're not always where you think they're going to be, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, but it's exciting though. There's going to be... Ooh. Okay. Hey, buddy. There will be plenty of opportunities for you guys to compete in competitive modes like this. And I'm very excited for them to happen and to be involved and to try and... No, thank you. Here's the thing though, I'm in a tricky situation where, like, I'm, as a gamer myself, outside of being a community manager, I really like to do well. Like, I don't want to lose. So I want to put in some decent scores, but I don't want to win. I feel like if I win, that doesn't look good on me. So I have to but it also ties into it being a really good excuse. So, you know, can't do too well. I don't want to win because that makes it look like I've cheated. But, you know, I have to do well enough where, you know, you guys can believe that I've done kind of well and kind of set like a benchmark of some kind. But then ultimately you will beat me. That's the plan. Then try the corner closest to... What do you mean, Rusty? A lot of fish here. Oh, oh my God, look at the size of that. Come back. That'll be a great start. Near the marker rope, okay. It's not gonna come back for it. Oh man, where did it go though? Where did you go? Let's get this sinking down a bit. I'm so confused. Like, normally I go to that spot I was in and things are good, but not today, not today. And that's part of what makes this so fun, right? Is you think you've got a safe bet, you know, you've got a good spot, but that spot is not a guarantee. And there's a big one, there's a big one, and there's another big one. Come on. Oh, 3 times? Just take it. So if they... Okay, so if he doesn't take this one, I'm going to switch lures because... I think one thing to bear in mind when you're doing this is that Just because something can work sometimes doesn't mean that it's going to work every time. And sometimes mixing it up makes all the difference. I'm going to go with the clear perch glidestail. The downside of this lure is it takes a little while to sink, but it has proven results. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. We have an interested party. Not sure what that was, actually. I think it might have been a spotted, maybe? That's a largemouth. No. Oh, don't take it. No! We don't want catfish today. I'm snapping it off. I'm snapping it off. We don't want it. Interesting. Okay. Let's get this rolled down a bit because we don't want tension to be too high. So if you miss out on some tournaments, will there be a way to achieve those items at a later time? Oh, no. So Chuck, no, there won't. So during the 2022 online Bassmaster Classic, the items you get for taking part will only be available during this event. They will not be available post the event. Which I think is cool. Like, I think it's like, you know, if you're not there to take part, then you don't get the items. However, like, you can still get some of them. For example, you know, if you take part in today's event, for example, then you'll get a cowboy hat. Whereas if you took part in round 2, you get the shirt. Round 1, you get the cowboy boots. There are some big fish here. But if you're not there to get them, if you're not taking part in those events, then that moment has passed. But I think it's cool because it means, you know, when you're fishing on a freedom fishing mode or Bassmaster Royale, then there's a limited number of people who are going to be repping that gear, right? Which means that, you know, you took part in the event. And I think it's a nice thing. Exclusive, right? Rusty, will there ever be tourneys for guys that game in the top 100 past the event, like an elite series? I think I understand what you're trying to ask, Rusty, and it's a good question that I don't have the answer to at the moment. I think the goal is to make the events inclusive for everyone to take part in. So I think that limiting a mode to a number of people or a small number of people kind of isn't quite where we're going at the moment, but I don't know exactly what the future holds for what our plans are with competitive modes. But it's a cool idea. That's like my wife on her phone watching something. I keep my boat a bit because they're not biting. I don't know what to do. They're not biting. This is like round 1 all over again. Oh, look at the size of that one there. So whereas I think, Rusty, it's a really cool idea. Like thinking about it from not that I am, but from the perspective of a developer, I start thinking to myself that, you know, that's a pretty challenging concept to actually pull off. But it's a cool idea. We got to go through a few more because there's a lot of fish here that are just not biting. Kind of trick that helps them bite by setting the drag to 0 while reeling in. Okay, well, let's lower it a bit. And then you just up it instantly when they bite. Ooh. Like to try and catch something. Would be nice. They are here. I mean, that is a huge bass there. Okay, we're in. Oh, up, up, up. Tension. It's a start. Whatever this is, at least it's a start. That might have been a fluke, Omni. That might have been a fluke. I couldn't vouch for you there exactly, but it could have been a fluke.
Somebody caught
Bow, bow. All right, we've got a score on the board. We are 234th. Not great. So, Rebel, you're not wrong. And the pain is, with the underwater camera specifically, is you know they're there. You can see them. But when they don't bite, it hurts. But they do bite sometimes. And we are in business. Heartbeat's kicking off. This is okay, this is a good fish. This is good. We're in. Come on, buddy. Let's be friends. You and me. Hey, Omni. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I couldn't tell you. If it works for you, then power to you. Maybe it's just one of those state of mind things. Oh, yeah, it's good.
Jeepers creepers, check out the peepers on that swamp donkey.
Okay, it's nice. It's a good keeper, right? Well, that's a big jump up to 186th. Rusty, I really feel that, you know, like there's a lot happening and there's a lot that we're doing, the competitive modes. I think, you know, there's gonna be a lot of fun to be had. Not a giant, no, it's not a 14, 15, 16 pounder, but it's a good keeper, right? We want to get our 5 bass in the bag so that we can start building from there. Okay, let's hop over to where we were and see if things are improving. Hey, Big Lerp. Let's go, Ben. You got this, bro. Thank you. I need all the help I can get. Where is this spot? I continuously lose this position. Around here? First off, hey Chuck, first of all. First off, all I own the dove. First off, I own all the Dovetail Fishing games, good games. Will there be a time when you add more action to the lures? All right, actually, that's a good question. And the answer is yes. I can't tell you a time frame on when that will be, but it is something that we are currently working on and developing as we speak. But the big thing is we don't know yet how that's going to affect the actual fishing experience. So you would think, well, there's a very basic view of it, which is that if you just add animations to the lures, right? And maybe people will be happy with that. But I think that we're looking at it from a slightly different and broader perspective, that we don't know exactly how that's going to impact the overall experience, but it's something that we are thinking about. And there will be, I mean, I'll provide you with updates as to exactly how and what that affects as it's happening. But for the moment, it's something that we are very much looking into. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving you some updates on that. Overpowered. Where's that going to end up? That's in the water at least. That's fine. Yes, what have you done to this spot? There's nothing here. For the record, I know it's not you, Des. You haven't done anything. But, you know, hashtag blame Des and all. This is terrible. Someone's going to be blamed, Des, and it's going to have to be you. I'm better off just staying where I was. The island was the one. I'm going back to the islands. Hey, Chuck, thank you. I mean, it is an ever-evolving process, and we are constantly looking at what players are saying. Not just from a perspective of issues, but from improvements people would like to see, and we're doing our absolute best to think about those and work out how it might be possible to implement some of those ideas. It's Born Legends button. Well, I think if anything is clear, is that I've been gifted with a good water temperature here, and I am struggling. I mean, Swifty's spot has been pretty consistent. It's been a good spot to get absolute keepers, and it's not working for me. So I've had to change things up. So actually, Soul Rebel, you've touched on an interesting topic there, where you're talking about. Oh, what was that? Ah, wasn't it? Yeah. The 78 is warm, but I'm in the spot. Well, our hot spot in theory. But I'm not catching anything, so I've moved back to my original spot where I've done kind of okay in the past, and I'm hoping for the best. But I think it goes to show that water temperature can only take you so far. So Rebel, going back to what you were talking about, you talk about the balance between gameplay and simulation. What are you trying to tell me? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I find it interesting where, oh, I think that's a walleye. Yeah, we don't want that. So, for example, if you look at our stores, we talk about this game as being a sports game, not a simulation. So, the idea of this of Bassmaster Fishing 2022 is it's for it to be fun for everyone. Oh, God. Yeah, the goal is for it to be fun, right? It's not for it to be the most necessarily realistic fishing experience, but it is supposed to be fun and competitive. That's the goal. You're kidding me with the gars. This is a terrible shambles. Yeah, Rusty, I know I should be, but I'm not. Because I think that tells you a lot about, the fish aren't biting. I don't know what to tell you. I can see them. Like I can see the bass, but they're not biting. Chuck. The other thing, sorry for so many questions. Hey, don't worry about questions. Questions are good. My friend refused to play this game because in previous Dovetail titles, we create private fishing matches just to verse each other. Yeah, I know that's been a hotly discussed topic within the community. So we essentially completely changed the system by which multiplayer happens. So on our previous games, aka, oh my god, look at that bass, the Catch and Fishing Sim World, we had a lobby system where you could set up your own lobby, but it was a bit flawed. So we, and not because of that, but we changed our tact. So we went for the cross-play angle so that people could play all together, which has enabled an event like this, which is a competitive mode, to be cross-platform, which allows everyone to play and everyone to compete against each other, which we've never had before, which is, I think, very cool. And we've never seen that before in our previous dovetail fishing leagues. It was always platform to platform, and this is the first time we've been able to do an event like this where it's cross-platform, everyone's competing against everyone, which I think is game-changing. But we have heard a lot of calls for people asking for the ability to play and set up their own lobbies and invite friends, etc. And it's something that we are looking into, but I wouldn't be able to give you any information or time frames or anything like that, other than it's something that we have heard. We are hearing people talking about it, and we are looking into it. My drag is, oh my god, that is high. Thank you, Omni. It's because I hooked that gar, so I cranked it up to snap it off. Right, so I see them. They are like, they are out there. Thank you for pointing that out, though. I'm also very sorry that my camera is not working. It feels less personal somehow. Come on. Alright, let's try the Glidestyle again. Oh, wrong one. You're still here, lurking. Lurking is fine. Don't worry about it. We respect lurkers. Big bass back there, but he's facing the wrong direction. My beard is still fully intact. Trust me. Another good bass swimming away. It's just tough. In first place. I mean, hey, Phil. I mean, I respect it, but there's no shot. There's no shot. I do not have it. I mean, I've caught, what, 2 bass so far? My best so far being 11 pounds. It's not looking so great for me. I can't find the fish. Oh, come back. Yes? Please? I need you. You think 0 drag is the way to go? Okay. I think it looked bigger because of the perspective of the camera. I don't think it was as big as it looked, but it was still decent. Is that another gar? I'm mad. You. I'm cranking up. I'm cranking it up. Bloody gars. Billy. We're in a pickle. We're in a pickle. That's a big bass. If you bite that gar, I'm gonna be mad. Sick of gars. I need bass. Phil, have you got some round 3 scores in yet? Or are you, you know, waiting for your opportune moment to strike? Look at them. Look at that bass. Yes? Yes? No? Please? Pain. Yes? Oh my god. Pain. Pain is all I feel. Oh, that's awesome, Chuck. That's really awesome. And it's really cool that the actual Bassmaster Classic is taking place right now. In fact, I think that the fishing is over now, so they will be commencing the weigh-ins as we speak, I think. And it's looking pretty good. I think Stetson Blaylock's had a really good day. He was in the lead last time I checked, and we'll have a look after this and see what's going on. I don't know what's happening right now, but I just cannot get a bass to bite my lure at all. Come on. Can I get my camera to work? Yeah. I'm clicking off my game so that I can try and see if I can get my webcam to work, but it's not. Not happening. Never mind. Waiting won't be for about another hour. Okay. Takes them a while, right? I think it's like a pretty like an hour drive, I think, or something similar to from the actual lake they're fishing on to the arena where they're doing the weigh-ins. Des, I'm sorry that I'm like putting in a real bad show right now. I'm really trying. But 23 minutes. I really feel like I've got the potential to get a couple of lunkers between now and the end of this round. But it looks like I'm going to be, another 20 or so pounds at the moment. It's not looking good. No! Stay away! Alright. We're leaving. Going on a journey. Yeah, wildcard. I'm feeling a huge F right now. Alright, see you later, Rusty. I'm down bad. Where's my spot? I can't find it. Okay, here we go. So is it true there won't be many online bass tournaments? It's not that there won't be many, it's that there won't be constant. So the tournaments we've had so far, like in our previous games, Fishing Sim World and The Catch, for example, have been an ever constant, weekly, never stopping competition. That won't be the case with Bassmaster. We are going to have competitive events, but they will be less frequent, which we hope will inspire more of that competitiveness and the competitive edge that I feel like personally has been kind of missing from our previous games. I think what we've done in our previous games has been awesome. Like it's super cool, but I feel like it's just me. That having them fewer and far between and having more of a reward for taking part and for doing well is going to be the thing that makes it interesting. Yeah, this is Swifty's spot, but I mean, look at it. Nothing here. There's nothing here. I'm used to there being fish here, but there is nothing here. This is terrible. Like, literally the only spot I know that's working for me right now is the island. I have to go back. I've got 19 minutes to try and catch some fish. This is the temperature I got. I'm going to work with what I got. I'm going to have to work with what I've got, you know? It's tough out here, you know? You think you know your spots. You think you've got some good positions lined up. That is not necessarily true. It might not be there when you come in to do this run around. That's what's happening to me right now. I honestly thought I was coming in confident. I came into this as confident. I was like ready to go. I thought I had this in the bag. Not in the bag, but I thought, you know, I was gonna have some I was gonna catch some really good fish. I was gonna show you guys, you know, these are some good spots. That is not the case. What was that? I wasn't paying attention. The walleye. Well, it's actually really interesting, right, Swifty? Because you think, you know, people, the objectively, the idea is that people think that a higher temperature is the is is the way to win. That is not true. I mean, if you want to see proof of it not being true, look at me.
What a finned freak of nature.
All right, Big Timer. Well, you're the exception, but I am struggling right now. No, you're kidding me. Get off. Huge bass there as well. You guys know what you're doing. I mean, I think it's... I mean, this is my personal opinion, but my view of it is that the weekly dovetail fishing league, as fun as it is, there's too much to do to keep up with it on a weekly basis, and for it to continue to instill that sense of competitiveness and a desire to want to take part. Whereas I think with what our hope is to oh, okay, here we go, big one. What our hope is to achieve with Bassmaster Fishing 2022 is that there will be less of the competitive events, sure, but there will be more of the feeling of an event around it, and more of the feeling of you know, the desire to want to take part, which, you know, has been evident in this event. Yeah, sure, it's the first one that we've run in Bassmaster Fishing, but there have been a lot of entries. There have been a lot of people taking part, and that's really exciting to see. So, Rusty, I think, well, hopefully there'll be more than £10. Okay,
Peepers,
not
creepers,
too
check
bad.
out the peepers on that swamp donkey.
I think it's a time for mixing things up a bit and seeing what works and trying to balance things to give people that sense of the event, you know. LFC, a really cool idea. um it's it's something that we're talking about, but not something that is, you know, we don't have any concrete plans for at the moment. But it's we are aware, we have heard the community discussing the desire to have more flexibility over what they can do. And we hear that and we're looking into it. And that's what I can really say about it at the moment. But look, you know, another one, we do hear and we do see everything that you say. It's more than likely me that's seeing what you're saying and, you know, responding to you on socials. We are very much listening and looking for what it is that people are asking for. You know, it's important to us. We want this game to be fun and enjoyable and something that you want to come back to for everyone. So we have to balance that out with what's achievable as best we can. I hear what you're saying, Stu, and we really do, and that's something that we need to consider. And I think that's part of the balancing act of making these kind of events frequent enough where it feels fun and rewarding for everyone to take part in, and then having more limited time mode events like the Bassmaster Classic, for example, where the time frames to take part in an event like this is far smaller, but the rewards are higher. So there's lots to discuss, and we are genuinely interested in what you guys have to say. You know, Des is here. We're listening. You know, we are taking it on board. This is a lunker, right? I don't necessarily think that the underwater camera is an advantage or a disadvantage. I think it's a nice to have. I think the majority of people who play this game have it on.
What a hog.
That's a good sized spotted bass, but not what we're looking for. And yeah, I hear you, Stu, but it's not an advantage if everyone has it. So I think your choice to not have that on is your choice. If you don't want to have the camera on, that's your choice. No shirt, yeah. Okay, thanks, Daz. On Steam, right? This is a big one, right? Oh my god. but it's just spotted. It's just putting up a good fight.
That right there is a bass squatch.
Better. I mean, it's not good. Got 9 minutes left. I need to catch something good. Fishing Sim Pro. I don't speak French, and I'm very sorry about it. I think that's French anyway. Would you be able to speak in English, please? Omni, what was your point about being able to turn it off? The camera? Does it matter if I only did one attempt? No, if you have any form of an attempt in round 1 or 2, you all 3 actually, you'll be entitled to an item. Doesn't matter how many attempts you have. Bassing, what are you saying? Almost 2,000 people took part in this event. It's probably just me. If the online tournaments have players feeling like they are fishing like the pros, I think you're well. Sorry if I'm putting your words in your mouth here, but I feel like what you're trying to say is that there's a feeling of it being an event when we have a tournament in game that's in sync with it being in line with a real world event that's happening, and that adds to the spectacle of the event and adds to the competition element of things, where you want to get involved because there's a lot of people actually doing it. Whereas I think like the DFL as it stands, with it being constant, I think can lose some of that. That's my personal view. Doesn't quite have the same feeling of it being like an event or a spectacle because it's constant. Yeah, I hear you. So like lining special events up with you know, cool events that are happening in the real world, right? That is cool. That is a cool idea. I have done terribly. I mean, to be fair, £46, you know, it's not bad, but it's not good. I mean, the underwater camera is a tough one. I think it does give you a visible aid in terms of what's happening underwater, but it's personal preference at the end of the day. Then if you want to use it, or if you don't want to use it, I mean, I don't know how drastic of an effect it actually has. I personally just enjoy using it. I think it's a fun experience to be able to use it. But I do agree that it would be cool to have situations where, or modes where the camera is disabled. I do think that's a cool concept. Oh, look at the size of that bass. Why can't I catch them? Exactly. And I think, you know, there are players, right? There are people who have done really, really amazing work and have caught absolutely enormous fish and had amazing rounds. But look, you know, I was loaded in today. First round, I had 22 something pounds. Second round, I caught what, like 68, 69 pounds. Third round, I'm on 46 pounds 4 ounces, right? It's not been a banker, like it's not been a consistent. Oh, it's not been consistent. Like it's not just go to the same spot and the same thing happens every time. Like it's you need to be able to adapt and evolve if you want to do well, and that's, I think, comes down to you being able to spend time researching different spots, and you know, if one place isn't working, then maybe somewhere else will. Like this is the spot that I started with when I did my preview stream of this lake before it was available to people to play on, and I caught my first trophy here.
Not gonna set any records with that one, but it's a solid keeper. Cha-chunk, cha-ching.
Yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying, Epiphany, and I think one of the things that I've seen on social media is that you know, the weights that people are catching in the game don't represent what people are catching in the real world event, and I think that brings up an interesting line of discussion around what players actually want from the game. So let's say, for example, we took out legendary fish, trophy fish, or we reduced the size of trophy fish to, you know, let's say the biggest legendary fish was like 7 pounds on the venue, and for the most part you'd be catching 1 pound to 3 pound bass. Would that be as fun? That's what it comes down to, right? Like for me, the enjoyment I get from this game is catching big fish. Is that representative of the real world? No. And I know that that's not. Oh, I thought I caught it. And I know when I'm playing the game that this isn't representative of the real world. But I know that it's fun. It is different. You're not wrong. But, you know, it's a tough one, right? We're playing a game, you know, and that is the intention, is for it to be fun. But I can equally wrap my head around the idea that people would like a more realistic expectation of what is feasible on a venue like Hartwell, for example. So I find it interesting to know what the kind of overall consensus is in terms of fish size in general, because there have to be a big mental shift for everyone to be accepting that catching a 3 or 4 pound bass is actually you know, a really big deal, versus, you know, the current, you know, 13, 14, 15 pounds being you know, something to celebrate. I think it would be a big shift. Hey, thanks, Night Owl. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm done. I did badly. So my first round score, pretty poor. 22 pounds. My second round score, respectable. 69 pounds, 3 ounces. Where am I? Oh, undug frog. Anyway, sorry. Well, hang on. Let's talk about me for a minute here. So I am 94th, which I'm okay with. A 22 pound first round, very bad. A 69 pound, 3 ounces second round, pretty good. Pretty good. 47 pounds for my third round, you know, it's fine. So I'm on 138 pounds and 3 ounces, which I'm okay with. I was trying to catch up on what you guys are saying. 13 to 14 pound biggest would be better. Okay. Okay, so interesting, Phil. So I think you're saying that realism to a degree should be not overly considered when it comes to a game. I think the thrill of catching a very big bass is what makes the game appealing and fun, right? It is you, Korean Bassin. You've done better than me so far. I am 94th and you are 92nd. I don't know. I feel like there's, well, from my personal experience playing the game, which, sure, admittedly is less than a lot of people who play the game a lot. The battles that you have with a big trophy or legendary bass, they are significantly more difficult than, you know, your regular size bass. And I've almost lost many a fish. I have lost fish. So I'm more inclined, and again, to make it very clear from a more personal perspective, more inclined to agree with Phil, where it's, you know, we want to go for that fishing experience, sports, arcadey kind of, you know, it's not exactly reality, because if we, I just feel like it would be kind of boring if we made it exactly like real life. I don't think there's a world LFC where you can have both real world weights and arcade in the game. It has to be one way or the other. Like, we have to decide whether, well, no, I'm gonna say we have to decide, but like, I feel like there can only be one route. Like, the game either goes down a route where, you know, if it's simulation, then fish weights change, fish are smaller on a huge degree, and it's overall far more difficult to catch fish. Or, you know, and as a result of that, that means that you spend a lot more time driving around trying to find fish, not catching any. Like, when you watch the actual events, like we've been doing the last few weeks, you know, the cameras aren't on these guys all the time, because a lot of the time, I mean, they're fishing from like 9 a.m. their time. They fish for like 8 hours, these guys, right? And they don't catch a lot of fish. Like 8 hours of fishing, they're catching 6, 7, 8, 9 fish maybe. Most of those are bass that are a couple of pounds. So is that the experience that people want to have in the game? That's the question. Like, do you want to spend a lot of time trying to find fish? Or do you want to have a more rewarding experience where, you know, there are bigger fish out there you can catch? Rusty, Ben, will they open up the full lake area? In short, Rusty, no. If you look at these venues, and we've been looking at venues a lot recently, and they are huge. Some of them are kilometers in just width. Like, there's nothing in the middle. There's just an enormous stretch of water from one point to another, where we know that you're not going to be fishing in the middle of the venue because that's not where the bass are. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to encapsulate the areas, well, from a starting point where the anglers actually set off from the starting docks on the actual real world venues. So that's always our starting point. And then it's about a matter of working out, okay, how much of the venue can we actually include in the game where it's actually feasible for a playable experience for people on all consoles, bearing in mind that we have to take into account the lowest common denominator, right? Which is, you know, for example, a very old PlayStation 4, for example, which, you know, loading times are tough. You know, how much they can load in at one time is long. These are all things to consider. But there's, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, there's like, we hear everything that everyone is saying. Like, we understand what people are saying, but at the end of the day, there is an equilibrium that we need to reach where, you know, you guys feel like you're having a good time and you'll feel rewarded for the time you're putting into the game, versus, you know, making it very, very realistic and it being potentially an unrewarding experience because you spend a lot of time casting or driving around trying to find fish. You know, that's so there's always going to be that element of us needing to make a game that feels rewarding and fun, which is what, you know, why I think everyone plays, right? Because you want to have a good time, you want to kick back, you know, it's going to be fun, right? I don't think we're forcing arcade. I think we're not forcing sim or arcade on anyone. I think the aim is to be somewhere in the middle where it feels like a sports game, but it's not entirely a sports game. You know, we're not currently at a point where, you know, when you're looking at like loadouts, for example, where you know, you're building a loadout, you've got your rod and you've got your reel, and then, you know, we don't have, for example, +3, I don't know, plus 1, +3, +4, whatever it might be on your stats for catching bass. You know, we're not there where it's where we're leading players to a point where we're telling you what to use or what gear to use or where to go to find equipment, to find fish even. But that's me. I mean, I'm, you know, I'm not going to win, that's for sure. And I'm glad that you've had fun. It's been like a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed seeing so many people get involved, and so much friendly competition has been a truly heartwarming experience to see, and very wholesome. Our Discord, for example, has been filled with people sharing what they've caught, sharing their results and their scores, and just sharing information about where and how they did what they did. And I think that is a very it's just a very nice thing to see that people are so open to helping their fellow angler to do better, and it's not all about, you know, oh, I'm keeping my secrets, you know, where I'm gonna fish where I'm gonna fish, and, you know, I'm not gonna tell you where I caught my bass. It's been a wonderful experience, and all the best to everyone who's taking part in the 2022 online Bassmaster Classic. It's been so much fun to be involved with, and I can't wait for the next event that we run. But I do want to have a look at what's happening in the real world Bassmaster Classic before we head off. So, if you haven't been keeping track, the real world Bassmaster Classic has been happening all weekend, and today is the final day. Fishing, as I understand it, has ended, so no one is fishing anymore. So the weigh-ins are, if they haven't started already, are due to start now. And as it stands, before the official weigh-ins, Stetson Blaylock, who is a playable angler in our game, is currently at the top of the leaderboard, which is incredibly exciting. You know, we have 10 anglers in our game, and there are, you know, throughout the course of this weekend, many more anglers taking part. So we've got Stetson Blaylock in first place. Taku has done an amazing job, currently 6th place. Scott Martin was doing actually very well. He's currently 19th on the current leaderboard. But we've got Hank Cherry, who's been gunning for his 3rd in a row. And then who else was I going to pick out then? Buddy Gross. Yeah, Buddy Gross also in 20th. So yeah, I mean, it all comes down to this weigh-in, right? I mean, I would love to sit here and watch the live weigh-in with you, but apparently I'm not allowed because of sponsorship stuff. So I can't sit here and watch the weigh-in with you live, but we are keeping a close eye on what is happening in the real world. And look, if you haven't had your attempts on round 3 yet of the Bassmaster Classic online, then make sure you do. And I will see you tomorrow. I will be streaming tomorrow to go through you know, what happened, who won, and just to chat about the whole experience, really. So yeah, thank you to everyone, really. It's been an absolute blast to be chatting to everyone and to have so much involvement. It's been awesome. And Scooby, we will be telling everyone exactly when the next tournament is when I know. Because I don't know, but I know it's not too far away. Okay, it's not far away. I just don't know when. But we will tell you when we know. Okay, all good. All right, look, thank you so much, everyone. I really do appreciate it. It's been so much fun to get involved with. Like, what a blast of a couple of weeks it's been. And keep an eye out over the next few days for something cool that we'll be announcing that is coming soon. Very cool things. All right. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Good luck in your fishing attempts. See you later.